Richard Moore, thank you for coming down to talk to me today. Now, I'm really excited to talk to you. You've got 16 plus years of experience in sales and business development. You are a bit of a LinkedIn guru, sales expert, sales coach, and entrepreneur.
Yes.
Are you also a Taekwondo master?
Not a master, that's 7th Dan, but I managed to get to 4th. So I had 2 Taekwondo academies until last year when I closed them down, sadly, because running out of space for to do other things each day.
Do you think that was the start of your helping people to grow and mature?
The thing that's always kind of fed through what I do is the kind of the teaching thing, and it was originally actually the sales manager roles I had. So I was coaching people in how to actually sell on my team. And then of course my events now are about teaching people who are business owners and things like that.
So you came from this background of, you're basically sales, you're doing the real hard stuff, which is the cold calling, the trying to close, the things that some people, it makes them shudder when they think about that.
Yeah. It's very necessary when you are just starting out, in the same way as approaching people cold online is, because it's all very clever to do content marketing plays, but you need runway for that, which means cash and hold your breath for a couple of months, whereas you can make money in that same day by getting it right in a cold approach. The sales training I tend to do is focusing on just understanding the mechanics behind what's going on in the guy's head and why they might not want to buy and how you can work against that. And it works for many companies. A lot of corporates I work with still use it, and so I help them with those techniques. But social selling is a longer play and it's a softer play, but it's far more effective because the end result is people say, I'd like to buy your product, rather than who are you?
So for somebody that hasn't heard that term, social selling, how would you describe that?
You're using social media to sell. It incorporates going out and finding people and warming them up in the DMs and closing them, all the way through to the content play. If someone's keen on your content, then they naturally are going to be keen on you. And then you end up with people just liking your stuff and showing up every week, and they're selling themselves. That's the thing. And that's good because it means they feel comfortable and you don't feel like an idiot selling them, and everyone's winning that way.
Definitely like a little bit less demoralising than just calling.
It is, but you've got to be patient, because it might be you have days where everyone's taking and no one's giving, and everyone's like, oh, I love this post. You're like, so buy something then, but they don't.
It's partly down to where are those people hanging out, because people use different platforms.
What I'm finding nowadays, and again, this is just how it's evolving, is that people consume you on one, and that's your entry point, and then they migrate themselves over elsewhere. And it becomes complex because when you're engaging, because the game isn't content, the game is the community work and the engagement underneath the bonnet. Without question, on all of the platforms, the number one skill is to spend time with your community and engage with them. And actually, if they dare show up for you, then you should validate it by writing a comment back or thanking them or something like that. And that's where good selling is, I think. And obviously, they're not trying to pitch them straight away. It's just a warm up. How you doing? Thanks for accepting the connection request. I was interested in that thing you put in your profile, or I love the piece of content you put out. Just want to see how you're doing. And it's so warm, people want to respond. And there's where your community is. If you get on with someone in a direct message, then they see your post and like it, within minutes, a bunch of their network has been sent your post by the platform, and now you're really winning. Because in the 20,000 followers, they've got 316 actually quite like your things. And it's just, you move faster. It's very exciting.
What do you think it is about LinkedIn that's now made it so great?
LinkedIn has been around since 2007, and everyone's on it. So it's been a sleeping giant. It's the combination of volume is already there. Every person you'll ever do business with is there. The mindset is more businessy. So it's like I've got a winning lottery ticket, and organic traffic is outrageous at the moment. And it's funny when you engage with some social media agencies, like, we do everything. We do Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's like, but how can you be credible and not cover LinkedIn right now? And it's because it's so under the radar. See, I don't take business cards to events now. I haven't done it for a while. We're only going to use the card to find you on LinkedIn anyway. Let's just do that. Yeah, exactly. I'm not interested. And there's something amazing about that moment where you huddle shoulder to shoulder and you like, spell your name. Go on, let's see. And, oh, hang on, you're a second connection. Who do we have in common? And like the interfacing there is so much better than, well, thanks for your card, and that's the end of it. That awkwardness disappears because you're instantly a bit more social.
Like, we've talked a lot about LinkedIn. Tell me about Entrepreneur Business Live and what that's all about.
Yes, so I had been to a networking event, and I remember sitting there thinking, this is terrible. But also, I was like, why am I complaining about an event that's no good? Go build your own then. The problem is, building an event, then hoping people are going to go or telling them to go doesn't work as well as building a community and then giving them an event. So that's when I did it differently. And so the point of Entrepreneur Business Live is to say, right, if we're building this community of people, say on LinkedIn, for example, and they have common interests and they're located in different places around the world, let's create events in those locations, 2 hours, 3 speakers at the front of it so people learn something, and they're networking afterwards. They'll say things like, here are the 5 steps that I've taken to achieve this. Because what I want is for those entrepreneurs watching live and being in the room to be able to walk out the room and say, I can do that thing now and implement it straight away. But then it's almost bordering unethical to be able to leverage so much attention and then not use it to do good beyond the people in the room. So I decided I would help people on 3 levels. So the short version is, it helps people in the room because they're learning from the speakers. It helps people around the world because we stream it on a live stream, so you've got people all over the world watching it. But it also helps people who are unfortunate because every event is aligned with a charity partner. It's a really nice thing. We're adding a lot more depth to networking.
It's all about the authority, isn't it? Having the authority, the social proof, which brings me on to wanting to talk about the work you do with businesses. So you're working with different sizes of businesses. Do you find that there are some sort of recurring themes that you see in terms of the way they're doing their sales and the processes they have in place?
Most people talk a lot about what they do and how it works because that's their comfort zone because they understand it. But the person at the end of the phone is flatlining. And the thing is, none of us, when we receive a cold call on the phone, want to hear about what they do or what they're offering. We want the magic, we want the end result, and that's what people need to start with. Those that spend a lot of the time on the phone get really, really good at it. And it's the same as networking. If you go to a networking event every week, you get really good at networking. You get good at picking up the subtleties of how someone's interacting with you.
What for you has been the big change that has happened in terms of the way people buy, the effective ways to sell?
I think people have, as buyers, they know that they are in much more control now. People are online that much more, so they're more conditioned against bad sales and bad marketing. They're more aware of other stuff that's out there. So you can't just be the person that is picked up by the buyer. You have to recognize that there's going to be a lot of other people selling the same kind of thing. So you have to be great at what you do without being overly perfectionist. So the way to get through all of that noise is to massively just be you. And that sounds really cute, but what it means is just don't posture anything, because no matter how weird or off the wall you are, there'll be a bunch of people who quite like you and are quite into you, and that's all you need, you know.
If you were going to give one piece of advice to brands, to businesses, for them to get an edge in today's world, which is largely, it's a digital world.
Yeah.
What would be your one sort of piece of advice?
This is actually really easy, and it's that you really have to just start and do it and be cool with screwing up a lot. Do it lots, and what happens is then you hear yourself more, you realize what works and what doesn't, and you've got practice, because you can listen to a bunch of people who do precisely what you do, but it won't work.
Richard, it's been awesome having you down here.
Cheers.
I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Cheers.
Cheers.
Real pleasure. Cheers.
Right.
Take
Cheers.
care. Thank you.